going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video on the Lockdown Defense Sports Network. I am your host for today's video, Young RG Robert Garcia, as Coach likes to call me. And in today's video, we are hopping into our Lightning Lockdown review preview episodes weekly for the Chargers. Of course, coming off that big victory on Friday night Brazil football against the Chiefs. Chargers, of course, are in first place right now after week one. Three of the teams in the division did win, of course, Chiefs being the only ones that did not. But, of course, with our win being a divisional win, that gives us the tiebreaker over the Raiders, who beat the Patriots, and the Broncos, who beat the Titans. So, Chargers definitely had the most impressive win of the division this past football weekend. So we're going to start diving into next week's matchup, which is yet again another divisional opponent, and it's going to be against the Vegas Raiders. So we'll dive right into it here with our injury report for the week. Del'Shawn Phillips and Denzel Perryman both were DNPs this today in practice. I don't know why I was going to say this practice today. I don't know what that was supposed to be. But yes, they were they did not practice. Denzel Perryman obviously left the game, a little bit early in that Chiefs game. He obviously did not return. So it looks like I think they diagnosed it as a high ankle sprain. So we'll probably be out for another 2 or 3 weeks or so. Probably won't see him back until October. And Del'Shawn Phillips, same thing with the toe. So hopefully these guys can, both be healthy enough. Maybe they, we do have a bit of a mini bye coming off of that Friday night game. Oh, excuse me. And then have a Monday night game following it up. So hopefully they can rest up. Hopefully, at least maybe we'll get Perryman, one or the other, preferably, out of these two, I'd want Perryman. But, at the end of the day, if we can get any of these guys back, will definitely help us. So definitely some names to keep an eye on. And as I already mentioned, our week 2 matchup is against the Raiders. My score prediction for this game is it's going to be insanely close. As you can see, I had the Chargers barely squeaking it out by a point. I originally had the Chargers losing this game, and then I saw how good they played in Brazil, and it almost gave me the confidence to think that this team has a chance to go 2-0 to start. The Raiders looked good on both sides of the ball as well. However, that is much lesser competition. Not that the Patriots aren't a young and up-and-coming team, but comparing the Patriots to the Chiefs, it's not really close. So, I think the Chargers are the better team. I think we just have better talent. I think the Raiders are very similar to where we were last year. New head coach, new key, either rookie or second year, skill position players, young defense. So I think that, last place schedule. So I think that they are going to surprise a lot of people this year. And I think that they're going to be very, formidable. And it would not shock me one bit if we lost the second game against them. I just think with the momentum we're riding, it also, I should probably preface, it would not shock me if we lost this game. Clearly, I had the Chargers barely winning by a point. It would not shock me one bit. The reason why I originally had them losing in this game was because of the Brazil, kind of hangover from, the flight and everything. And you do get a mini bye, so that does help a little bit. But still, that is just also an emotionally draining win, finally breaking that streak against Kansas City. So there's just a lot of it behind it. I totally would not be surprised if the Chargers kind of came out a little bit flat in this one. But I do still think that Harbaugh won't let them. I think that he will have them ready to play. And now let's go over what I think the keys to victory for the Chargers are this week. So first up, obviously need to maintain that same O-line that was in Brazil. Joe Walt, perfect on the left side. I think he had 41 pass protection reps. Didn't allow a single pressure. And he faced, a bunch of different guys, Chris Jones, Mike Dana, Karlaftis, bunch of guys on that D line, Omenihu, and he's stopped every single one of them. So obviously we knew he was going to be good, but Trey Pipkins, that right side could definitely use a little bit of work. I think he allowed like 3 or 4 pressures, if I'm not wrong. Left side. So like I said, left side of the line played very well. Bozeman played pretty decent as well. Becton played fantastic, one of his best pass protection games in his career. So if that line can continue, and it's going to be a much tougher defensive line this time around. Max Crosby, Tyree Wilson, and there's one more guy that I'm forgetting. I'm blanking on his name right now, but there's another really good Raiders D lineman that I know can generate some pressure. So they're going to have their work cut out for them. And then obviously getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, following week is the last division opponent in the Broncos. Yet another great defensive line. So definitely O-line's going to have their work cut out for them to start, the first month of the season. So if we can keep that same O-line that we had in Brazil, give Herbert that time and that protection, I definitely love our chances for this game as well. If this game is a shootout, turns into a shootout, I love our chances in that. Similarly to that, or kind of parallel to that, we cannot let Genty get going early. We need to kind of do like what the Patriots did and shut him down very early and kind of get the Raiders away from it. Geno, obviously we saw he can sling it, and he was slinging it all around the field on Sunday. Ooh, against the Patriots, threw for 360 yards. I think he's the league leader after the one game, of course. So, I think the Raiders averaged something crazy like 13 yards or like 20 yards per. No, I think it was 13 yards per play. It was something insane. They were just dicing up that Patriots off our defense. But in that same breath, Geno did throw a pick, but Geno has been known to throw picks from time to time. So that's why I'm saying if we can get this game into a shootout, it's just blow for blow between Herbert and Geno. I like our chances more. Just because Herbert, doesn't really turn the ball over. I know people are going to throw that playoff game in my face. I get it. It was one horrible game, and yes, it came in the worst time possible. I totally understand it. But besides that, Herbert does not turn the ball over. So I really do think if it did come down to that kind of matchup, it would favor the Chargers significantly. So obviously, don't let Genty get going early. Obviously, this is kind of every week, but absolutely need to specify it in this one. No turnovers. We need to keep that clean streak going. Almost had a turnover in week 1 with Conklin fumbling that ball. It was a great hit. Got helmet on ball. He did wrap up, but he unfortunately just did not, didn't hold on to it tight enough, I suppose. And Ladd with fantastic. Whoa, excuse me there. Ladd with a fantastic 100 IQ play. Bat that ball out of bounds. Did get the penalty, but you'd rather take that and maintain possession than, potentially lose possession of the ball entirely. So no turnovers. And then the last one is a little bit of a mystery because this is obviously going off today's news. A lot can change from now to Monday. Brock Bowers did not practice today. He did leave the game on Sunday with a knee it was a knee injury. According to sources from what I saw, he wanted to come back in and the Raiders were just like, no. But now that he's not practicing, it gives me a little bit of pause as to what's going on. Obviously, you don't wish for injury, and I never wish for injury for anyone. I obviously hope he's healthy, and I want to see these teams at full force as much as possible. But obviously, if he's not good to go, that is just more of an advantage for the Chargers, and it would significantly hinder the Raiders' possibilities of, paths to victory. Similar to how I mentioned the Cowboys defenses, or the path to victory for the Cowboys defense all involved Micah Parsons. He is no longer there. They are not going to be good. Same thing for the Raiders offense. All avenues for them to have a successful offense revolve around Bowers and really Genty, but it's more so Bowers. So if he's not there, then that is going to be a brutal, brutal situation for the Raiders. And I just don't know if that's enough to overcome it. That is a huge, huge piece. Obviously, he's arguably one of the best, if not the best tight end currently in football playing right now. So yeah, I think the Raiders are obviously really hoping he plays, and the Chargers are certainly hoping he doesn't. But with that all being said, that's also why I kind of flip my picks over to the Chargers winning, with, given the injuries to the Raiders and things like that. But yeah, I think this is going to be a fantastic game. I think it'll be a little bit more high scoring than last year's Raiders Chargers games. Although this could very well turn into a low scoring game if both running backs, Omarion Hampton and Ashton Genty, get going early. I think that's also a really, exciting matchup to kind of look at. Both first round running backs, the only two running backs that got drafted in the first round this year, facing off against each other. They are forever. I mean, forget the fact that you're drafted in the same draft class in the first round, go to the same division. You are always going to be talked about, compared to one another. And I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited to see what these running backs can bring. Regardless, for neutral fans, for a Monday night game, this is fantastic. This should do insane numbers. It's in Vegas. I think it's going to be a fantastic, fantastic game. But with that all being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out everybody in the Hit Squad with their socials down below. And also be sure to check us out on all of our social media platforms. We are on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and of course, Gmail. Send us in your recommendations. Send us in your video ideas, what you guys want to see. Comment, like, subscribe, repost, all that fun shenanigans. So with that all being said, guys, I want to thank you so much once again for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.